What is up, everybody? Ethan back today with a album review. What I'm going to be talking about today is let me give some background. So this is a band that I'd always heard of. You know, they're a very popular, or were a very popular band in the late '70s, I would say, and some of their better known songs are played on the radio, FM rock radio. But they're a band that I never really listened to at all, except for maybe one or two of their hits until about I would say the last 3 months. I've really been deep diving into their albums. I bought three of them on vinyl, used vinyl, and listened to pretty much their first eight albums in the last couple of weeks, and I've got a good feel for their music, especially in the '70s. I have yet to kind of dive into their later stuff like the '80s, the '90s, and they're still releasing albums today. One of the founding members of the band is no longer in the band, but they are continuing to this day. And I believe they released an album either last year or 2024, and reviews on that album were really good. So I'll probably have to continue to dive into their discography more and more. But for today's purpose, I'm going to focus kind of on their popular era. Their late '70s run was probably their most famous, most probably their best-selling era into the early '80s. And that band is Styx. And the album we're going to be talking about is Pieces of Eight from 1978. Yeah, I love that album cover of, I don't know who that's supposed to be. There's a few women on the front, and there's a band members there. So let's talk about the band members. So the kind of ringleader of the group is Dennis DeYoung on keyboards and lead vocals. Here you have Tommy Shaw, guitar player. Their first four albums, or five, I believe, they released with their previous guitar player. Tommy Shaw came in on the 1976 album Crystal Ball. This is his third album with the band. The one before this was really his coming out party, Grand Illusion, in 1977. This is their other guitar player, James J.Y. Young. And these two guys, Chuck Pisano and John Pisano, are two twin brothers. So he plays bass guitar, he plays drums. So yeah, that's the band members. Really cool picture of the guys. This, like I said, was released in 1978 on the A&M label, produced by the band, and it was recorded in Chicago. The band itself is from Chicago. Recorded in '78, released in 1978. This is their eighth album, if I didn't mention that. So they had started way back, and I didn't realize, honestly, how long they've been around. Their first album came out in 1972. Styx, self-titled, in 1973. They came out with Styx 2. And that same year, 1973, they came out with The Serpent is Rising. 1974 was Man of Miracles. And then 1975 was their fifth album, Equinox, which I have on vinyl. That was one of the ones I bought with this one. And then the follow-up, Crystal Ball, 1976, the first album with Tommy Shaw, like I mentioned. And then, then The Grand Illusion, another one of their best-selling albums from 1977, their seventh album, with the, of course, hit single on it, Come Sail Away. I like that song, but I think this album, for me, I like a lot of their other albums. I probably would rank Equinox my number two, maybe Crystal Ball and Grand Illusion in there too. Man of Miracles is great too, and I really love Too Much Time on My Hands and the 1981 album, which the name escapes me at the moment. But for my money, I believe this is my favorite album of theirs. It's just, it retains a lot of their prog elements that they were kind of known for in the mid and early '70s. And they were very much a prog kind of poppy rock, hard rock. They could rock really hard. Great hard rock, great prog rock, maybe pop rock, AOR, pump rock, that kind of thing. They're kind of in that ballpark with Kansas Journey, maybe a little Uriah Heep and Deep Purple influences early on, less so on this album. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get into the track listing. It kicks off with a song called Great White Hope. which is a very kind of upbeat, rousing, theatrical song. A lot of these songs and this band, courtesy of Dennis DeYoung, the kind of the ringleader vocalist and keyboard player, very much kind of a Broadway theatrical kind of vibe, which for me, traditionally, that's not really my thing. I don't like a lot of that over dramatic, kind of melodramatic stuff. But I think Styx does it just right, just enough for me. If they did it a little more, I probably wouldn't care for some of their songs as much. But that's just a very majestic, I guess you could say, upbeat, rousing kickoff song, sung by Dennis DeYoung. And three of the guys in the band sang. Dennis DeYoung was the main singer. Tommy Shaw sang a lot of songs, great voice. He was really the kind of number two singer in the band. And then James Young, the other guitar player, would also sing occasionally. And he wasn't as good of a singer as the other guys, but he wrote some really good kind of heavy rock songs. I really kind of like his input, and some of his songs are some of my favorite actually of this band. So yeah, Great White Hope, good kickoff song. Drinking a little Keystone Light, pretty good light beer. And then you got the song I'm Okay, which is another kind of theatrical, up tempo, prog rock, pop rock song. This band, you know, traditionally I'm more of a hard rock and kind of heavy metal guy, kind of more serious, dark music. This is a very bright, fun, upbeat album, and I like that. It's nice to kind of listen to something like that occasionally. It brings to mind Kansas and maybe Uriah Heep. Some of those other bands that I really love have really kind of positive, kind of inspiring music, and that's kind of how I would categorize this album, Pieces of Eight. So I'm Okay, really good song. And then Sing for the Day, which is sung by Tommy Shaw, the other singer. Really great song, kind of a folky, kind of medieval, kind of prog rock song. Sounds like it could kind of be a Jethro Tull song. And I will say, I hear a little Jethro Tull in them sometimes. And then The Message is an instrumental, kind of cool. And then Lords of the Ring, which is sung by Dennis DeYoung, a great kind of, again, folky prog rock song with great vocal choruses. And as a Lord of the Rings fan, I can appreciate anytime a band, pays homage to Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. So that's side one, 5 tracks, well, 4 counting an instrumental. But side 2 for me is where this album really shines. So if it wasn't for side 2, I probably wouldn't be talking about this album on a review today, if I'm being honest. Side 1 is good, but side 2 is for me what just sends it over the top. So it kicks off with Blue Collar Man, Long Nights, sung by Tommy Shaw and written by Tommy Shaw. What a song. I love that song. And I will say, when I first listened to this album, and I had never listened to it in my whole life, I'd always heard about Styx. I know, a song we're going to talk about in a minute. I'd heard it on the radio, but I'd never heard this album in its entirety. The first time I listened to it, I was like, it's okay. It really took until the second, third, fourth listen for me to really get this album. And that happens sometimes with albums and bands. Don't give up on an album just because the first time you listen to it, it didn't grab you. Try again. Give it another shot. And that's what I did. And then around the third listen, it finally clicked with me. And I'm like, wow, what a great album, especially this side 2. And Blue Collar Man, Long Nights is a great song. Catchy as all heck. Great chorus, great vocals, great guitar playing, a heavier rock song, And then, the next song, sung by Dennis DeYoung, written by James Young and Dennis DeYoung. James Young, whenever he wrote a song, it was always kind of a little heavier. Queen of Spades. What a heavy riff in that song. What a great guitar lick. That is a great song. It kind of starts out kind of mellow and proggy, kind of more like a Jethro Tull type song, and then it kicks into like this real deep purpley kind of heavy riff, and just a great song. Queen of Spades, really, really great underrated song from them. Check it out. And then of course, track 8, one of their most popular songs, the legendary Tommy Shaw penned Renegade. What a great song. That's one of those songs that I'd heard before, and I'm sure most people are familiar with it, even if they're not familiar with this band. But that is a legendary, timeless classic. I rank that up there with like Don't Stop Believing by Journey, which I'm not the biggest Journey fan at all, really. That song kind of gets old, but it's a timeless song like that. Carry On Wayward Son by Kansas. I rank Renegade up there with that, and I absolutely love Kansas and that song. Renegade, I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the NFL team, play that song as their stadium anthem to pump up the crowd and the team in like the third and fourth quarter. I mean, it's legendary. It is an inspiring song. It gets you going. It's a hopeful song. It's weird because the lyrics are about kind of a dark subject matter, kind of this renegade, kind of, Western kind of figure, kind of running from the law or whatever, kind of, you know, uh, a nomadic kind of figure on the run. But it has such a inspiring kind of, I guess you could say, kind of powerful feel to it. And Tommy Shaw just shines on it. Great guitar solo in it, and I'm going to mention him again, James J.Y. Young. He plays a phenomenal, killer, heavy guitar solo in the end of that song. Just a great song. I mean, they use this song in commercials, movies. The show Supernatural, it's in that show in an episode, kind of a legendary episode, along with songs like Kansas, Carry On Wayward Son. But just a great song, Renegade, and they play it to this day. Tommy Shaw still sings that song live, and it's just a great crowd pleaser. And for my money, one of the best songs they ever wrote. Again, I I love this band. If it was a whole album of Dynasty Young stuff, I'd get a little tired of it. It'd give me a little ear fatigue. I really like the Tommy Shaw stuff. His contribution to this band was great, and I really kind of prefer his kind of hard rock kind of vibe more so than the theatrical, over the top Dynasty Young stuff. Some of that gets a little old. I like it. He wrote some great songs, but I think Tommy Shaw is a great compliment to Dynasty Young. Anyway, get off the soapbox about that song. Pieces of Eight, the title track to end the album. Great song, prog rock, Dynasty Young song. And then Aku Aku, which is an instrumental kind of to finish off the album. But really, I consider Pieces of Eight the ninth track, the last song of the album. And there you have it. That's Styx, Pieces of Eight. 10 actually legendary songs. But again, for me, side two is really where it shines. I've really been listening to them a lot recently. I never thought I would really get into them. I was like, they're a little too poppy for me, not enough guitar muscle. I like a lot of guitar in my music. But they have some really good guitar playing, some really hard rock songs. I mean, Queen of Spades is like and they some of their earlier albums are very heavy. Just some good hard rock songs, great vocals, great vocal harmonies. They were really peaking. I would say their peak was probably 75 to 81. That was just like Kansas, that late 70s AOR era. That's when they really shined. And then after that, it kind of fell off the wagon again. But yeah, just a great album. Really cool kind of album cover. Cool picture of the guys. This their eighth album, released in 1978. Pieces of Eight by Styx. How would I rank this album? I'd give it like a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Is it a perfect album? I don't think so. Probably not. Some people might consider it one. I really like it. It's growing on me more and more. The more I listen to it, the better I like it. Like I said, when I first listened to this album, I was like, it's okay. It's no Master of Puppets by Metallica, right? And then I listened to it more and more, and I was like, wow, this is a really good album. These guys really know how to write a good song. They're great players too, and just professionals and perfectionists, and just kind of a talented group of guys in this band, I would say. And just every band member kind of brought something to the band that was different, and you get that good amalgamation of creative input that's very varied, right? They didn't write the same song every song doesn't sound the same. Every song is very different because every writer, every band member wrote a certain way, played a certain way, and you knew whose song it was based on how it sounded, right? And I like that. There's a lot of variety here, kind of like Kansas. Uh, other bands like that come to mind. But yeah, so just it's not like, and I love this band, but AC/DC, every song kind of sounds the same. This band isn't like that. Every song's different, very different flavor, a lot of variety. Great, talented group of guys. Just yeah, Dennis DeYoung's no longer in the band, but he's still, has a solo career. Tommy Shaw and the rest of the guys, some of them have passed away, but they're still going. And like I said, they released an album not long ago. So just a legendary American rock band, Styx. Never really listened to them before, but I'm really getting into them. And to me, this is probably my favorite album. I'm not going to say best, but if you look at kind of ratings and polls on this album, a lot of people do consider it one of their upper echelon albums, and I would put myself in that category as well. I love it. Great album. Not perfect. I mean, is it a Rumors by Fleetwood Mac? Is it a Led Zeppelin 4? Is it a Black Sabbath Paranoid? Is it a Deep Purple Machine Head? I don't know if I'd put it in that category, but it's close, man. It's a great late 70s hard rock album from a great band, and just gets my 2 thumbs up today, 4.5 out of 5 stars for Styx, Pieces of 8. If you've never heard it, please go out and listen to it either on YouTube, vinyl, hard copy, or Spotify. I have Spotify. I've listened to it many times on Spotify. So yeah, cheers and thank you for watching.